I just finished selling this 2025 Ford Raptor. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the wash. This is such a good looking truck. God damn, that car is so loud. I'm hoping you guys can hear me, but we're finishing the month off with 4.5 cars, which I'm pretty ashamed to say. It was a really rough month. We sold this 2025 Raptor. It's a 37 package, so it has the upgraded suspension, the beadlock wheels. This deal right here probably saved my month as far as paying all my bills and making sure that I have a little money extra left over. This is how much the fill up was to get to full. Dang. This is how much our gas price is for premium. The interior in these are so nice. They just know how to make trucks. Ford is just amazing at making trucks. My customers were actually from LA. They were visiting Las Vegas for a soccer tournament that was happening here in town. They said that they just wanted to look, which obviously that's how it always starts. They looked at the truck, they fell in love with this black one. We worked out numbers, and man, it was a tough, not a tough deal, but such a roller coaster of emotions. So my customer, we're working out numbers, we're figuring out how he's gonna do the either finance or pay cash, and in the middle of everything, one of the managers says, "Hey, I just sold that black truck," and I'm over here like, wow, what the heck? Like, they just sold it, not sold it from underneath, because obviously we didn't even run credit yet, but we were just talking. But it's like, wow, like they sold the truck. He didn't want any other color but black. Obviously I'm over here trying to switch him to another color, maybe a white one. We had a dark blue one that kind of looks like black when the sunlight isn't hitting it, but he didn't want any of those. My manager, while I was trying to convince him to get another vehicle, same package, we'll give him the same deal, whatever, my manager ended up calling the owner of the store because his friend is the one that bought the Raptor. He was paying cash in California. So my manager said, "Hey, I have a deal working on it. Do you think your friend would be cool with taking another one instead of the black one?" Well, God bless the friend, because he bought the white one instead, and I was able to sell the black one. And you know, once we told the customer, we're like, "Hey, good news. The owner's friend is cool with taking a white one, and we can sell you the black one." To make it a long story short, it was kind of difficult figuring out if we were going to do financing it. He has it paid off Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro 2018 that his son is driving to LA right now. He's coming to the dealership to Las Vegas, and we're probably gonna have to deliver this car at 12 in the morning, maybe 1 in the morning. His son is coming from LA, and it's currently like 7 something o'clock, and it's gonna take him 5 to 6 hours to get here. Today is the 31st, it's a Saturday. We close at 8 p.m. They just finished signing the paperwork. We're sending the son paperwork through email so he can finish off signing it off. We want to get this deal rolling. It's the last of the month, and my customers leave tomorrow, but the dealership is closed on Sundays here in Vegas. All dealerships are. So I have to take the Raptor home, wait until my customers text me, "Hey, we can meet up at one of the casinos." Go to the casino, swap keys. Obviously, I'm not going to be joyriding any of these vehicles, but that was the agreement that me and my customers made. Let them know I'm not gonna be joyriding any in it, or you know, doing anything crazy. They just know it's strictly business. That was one of the most interesting deals I've ever done. I've been doing this since November of 2020. It felt really weird to take home a $100,000 truck in my apartments. I'll show a picture of what it looked like in my parking spot. So once I took it home, I was in the house. I change to normal clothes. I was just watching TV until I got a text saying that the son arrived here in Vegas, and we met up in one of the Las Vegas casinos. We actually met in downtown just because it was, less populated. It was a Saturday night, so it was still pretty busy. When we met at the casino, we swapped keys, and his Tacoma was really clean, really, really clean. He didn't lie to us about the condition. So I was very happy about that. He got an awesome Raptor. He thanked me for, taking the time out, extra hours to get this done. But at the same time, I wanted to get this deal out. My manager wanted to get this deal out. And then I took that Tacoma home, and I'm going to show a video of me, showing the Tacoma there at my house. I waited until, Monday. Monday comes around, I come in, I stock up the trade. And then, so that's how we did that deal. So we can make that deal count for last month, which was awesome. Now, last month was one of the hardest months I've ever had in the car business. Not because I sold only 4.5 vehicles, but because the amount of vehicles that I sold versus the amount of people I talked to weren't correlating. Usually the more people you talk to, the more cars you're going to sell. It's just a numbers game, right? I don't think I had too much of a shortage of customers. I think I've had a fair share amount. In some instances there was some deals. If you watch my last video, I had a customer who came to my dealership. We were trying to make a deal happen, and they were wanting to get at 79K out the door. And we asked them if we could do that, would they take the car home? They ended up going to another dealership for some reason. They told us they were going to go to Ram. They ended up going to Team Ford, and they got 80K out the door, which just didn't make sense to me, because when we asked them, would you do the deal today if we could do that? They said, well, no, because we have to go check out the Ram. Okay, go check out the Ram, and then tell us, what you think, if you like our truck better. It was just that was just a really weird instant that happened. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not the one buying the truck. I'm not the consumer. So, I mean, I can't really tell people what to do with their money, right? But I also wanted to talk about kind of the deals that I had last month that I didn't close. Kind of tell you guys a story of what happened, and maybe let me know if I'm missing something, or if, it was just, I just couldn't make the deal. The last car that I sold before the Raptor, I greeted them. They looked at a car online. I showed it to them. We test drove it. They were like, all right, well, we're going to go home, think about it. So I told them, okay, I understand. I told them usually when people tell me to think about it, it's usually two things. I told them it's usually they don't like the car, or they just don't like the price. Either one of those. If you're not 100% in love with the car, I can see why you don't want to work numbers. And if the price is a little too high, maybe you want to talk to your spouse, see if you guys want to spend that extra money. So I told them that, and they were like, no, we just want to talk about it and lay out our options. So I just, okay. And I asked them, are you looking at any other cars? They're like, yeah, we test drove one in Echo Park. How'd you like that one? Well, we like yours a little bit better. So this is what I told them. I said, let's go inside. Let me show you what the numbers are looking like. That way you can have an idea of what the numbers are here. And then you can, have a more thorough talk about your finances with your spouse. So then the wife told me, well, it's your call, to the husband. And the husband was like, no, I think we'll go. I'm like, okay, give me 1 second. I'll be back. Let me get you my business card before you head out. I go inside. I tell my manager, I'm like, hey, I think I need a turn. These people don't want to sit down and do numbers. I grab another salesman. The salesman goes out, talks to them, brings them in like 2 minutes. And, I'm just having a bad month. Things aren't going the way that I would hope them to go. And I'm just like, wow, what did he say to get them in? But just working in the car business for so long, I've seen personally, like, just having a different face can help. And at first I was like, wow, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What did I miss? But a deal's a deal. So we ended up splitting that deal, and we made a car deal out of that. Then I had another deal. I sat down with these people. They were looking at a Mustang. I asked them, what type of payment they were trying to be around. The lady was like, "Oh, I'm trying to be at 500 a month," and I was like, "Whoa, like on the GT or an EcoBoost?" They're like, "Oh, GT." She's like, "Preferably, I like to be there." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're gonna be putting like a significant amount down to get to that payment." And she was like, "No," and I let her know up front, right? I don't like to have my customers get played or get caught by surprise. I'm, doing my job. Just like I said, "Hey, just to let you know, if your goal is to be 500 a month, you're going to want to look at an EcoBoost, especially if you're not putting that much down." They wanted to lease it. I could see why maybe them thinking leasing would get them there, but it just wasn't there for them. So when we sit down, right? We sit down, we do numbers. I'm like getting all their information. I show them the numbers. They're, like $200 above $500 a month. They get up and they're like, "Oh, thank you." I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, whoa, what's going on?" They're like, "No, it's too much." I'm like, "Well, I told you it was not going to be $500 a month. Where can we meet in the middle? So maybe I can do something." And then they tell me like, "Well, why didn't you do that in the first place?" And I said, "Well, if you did, currently Ford is doing employee pricing. So off the MSRP, it was about like $5,400 off." And that's what I showed them, $5,400 off. And I was just like, "Well, look, you're getting $5,400 off the bat. You're getting a good lease deal. I can see what I can do more, but obviously we're a business and, we want to, when you, basically I told them this analogy. I said, "Have you ever sold something?" They were like, "Yeah." Okay. I'm like, "When you go to sell something, do you sell it at the lowest possible price? No, you sell it at the price that you're comfortable selling it." So that's kind of what we're doing here. And then obviously people are going to say, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do that?" And then, that's how you do it. I mean, that's just how we do things here. So they were like, "No, we're good. We're good." And I was telling them, "Well, like, how does that make sense?" They're like, "Well, we bought a car 8 years ago, or we leased a car 8 years ago for around 40 grand, and it was like $500 a month." Well, I'm like, "Well, that was years ago, back when the car market was different. Obviously, we're in a different car market." I told them, "Obviously, we're here to help. Let me see what we can do." And then again, they just got it. They were just getting up and leaving. So I was like, I told my manager, "Hey, I got nothing with these people." My coworker goes out, takes a turn, talks to them. Same thing. They just brush them off and then they leave. So obviously that had me pretty upset. Just the fact that I don't know, just the whole point of like seeing numbers and then getting up and leaving is just so weird to me. Like, why would you waste hours of your time test driving the vehicle, looking at it, just to look at a piece of paper, be like, "No, no, thank you." It's like, what did you have in mind? Like, I don't understand. Like, you saw the sticker price. I told them, this amount off was on the employee pricing. I will just never get that. I wonder how those people buy cars. To be honest, I just don't get it. And then I had this couple come in, right? Like a day later. They come in, they test drive this Bronco Sport that we have. It's kind of, I think it was one of the higher end trim levels. It was like a nice brown suede leather interior, sunroof 4x4. It was just a nice vehicle all around. It did have quite a bit of miles, and we were selling it for a certain price point. We test drove it, and I guess they liked the vehicle, but they didn't love the vehicle, right? So I tried showing them, "Hey, maybe if I can get you a good deal on a new one, or maybe if you guys want to look at more used ones." They're like, "No, we want to keep our options open." I did my due diligence and followed up with these customers after they left, and they told me that they bought from Toyota. So I mean, it just is what it is. Toyota is a good brand. I work for Honda myself, so usually when people come buy Hondas, they're comparing it to Toyota. So yeah, I guess they just didn't like the car, right? It is what it is. I had like this elderly couple that came in and they were looking to buy a truck, but the guy is like, "I only want a manual truck." And I told him why, and he's like, "Well, I like manual trucks, and it's been a while since he bought a vehicle." And usually on new cars, it's really hard to find manual trucks, especially nowadays. So we didn't have anything on the lot. We didn't have anything pre-owned, and I was trying to get him to either maybe buy a brand new Maverick for like 28 grand, you know, maybe in mid 20s, like 25, 26. It did entice him a little bit, but he just decided, you know, it wasn't for him. Okay, cool. Gave him my business card, said, hey, if you change your mind and you want to take advantage of what Ford has to offer, let me know. But we just don't have any manual cars. And speaking of that, I actually had a customer. So one of my coworkers, he doesn't speak Spanish. He's a white guy. His name is Jason. Shout out to Jason if he's watching this. But he went to go talk to this customer, and he's like, oh, no, I don't need help. And he's like, oh, if you're looking for the Mustangs, I just want to let you know we have employee price. And he screams at my friend. He's like, yo, get away from me. Like in Spanish, he's like, you know, screaming at him. So then they grabbed me to go over and talk to him. I didn't even know that they screamed at him. I go over and talk to him, and he's like super friendly with me. And he's just telling me that he's looking for a Mustang. It has to be manual. Same thing. We do have new ones, but he said he was looking for a used one. He was trying to be around the 30 grand range. So I'm like, hey, I have a really, really nice one that we just took in, but it's automatic. It's got 7-year, 100,000 mile warranty. And he was just like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. So I'm like, look, man, like, how long have you been looking at? And he's like, well, I've been looking some at Facebook Marketplace. I'm also thinking about getting some in California, and I'm going to go around the city and look for one. I'm just like, dude, that's a lot of searching. So I told him, why not just get a brand new one and take advantage of, you know, the employee pricing. And he was just telling me it was too much for his price range. He was not trying to be in like the 50s, high 40s. But you know, I was just trying to push him there, show him what we have. But it just wasn't for him, and he didn't want any of that. And you know, again, we just didn't have what he wanted. He actually ended up coming back with one of my coworkers because I guess that was a referral of his. And same thing, he just came by, looked around some cars, and he was like, well, you guys don't have what I want, and left. I'm sure, you know, there was something that I had done wrong. Maybe I was just in such a bad mood that month that there's definitely probably one customer, few customers that, you know, maybe I could have done better. And, I mean, it is what it is. It's just me recapping my month because I don't have anything to show for last month except for that Raptor deal, which, yeah, it just sucks. But, you know, thank God my bills are low. Thank God I have money saved. I got backup plans, and, you know, I have really low bills. So my pride's hit a little bit, you know, just not selling as much cars as I know I should be selling. But this month is, we're going to try really hard this month, and we're not going to have a month like that. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. There is a link down in the description if you want to buy a car from me here in Las Vegas. Check that out. Thank you for watching.